Alright guys, welcome back to the WCS Challenger League Qualifier, formerly known as the Code A Qualifier. Now we have our second best of three, looking once again at the Terran versus Protoss. This time at the bottom left of Daybreak, our first map in the best of three, we have the JangBi for Samsung Khan, the Protoss player here starting in red. And to the top right we have his opponent, the Terran player Snow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I guess the ID he's using is like the third Park Tower 3. But yeah, his ID is Snow, so don't worry about his Smurf. You know, that's a lot of these players using their Smurf accounts for the actual play, and they're still agreed to play on them. So probably gonna use a name change after this, I suppose. Everyone studies them, figures them out. JangBi though using his real name, and he's actually Grandmasters with this account, so I guess that he probably doesn't even use a Smurf when he plays, or you know, he probably has multiple accounts he plays on.
Most of the teams have at least one or two Smurf accounts that they actually share, and just trying to have a few barcode IDs out there that are in Grandmaster League so that they can Smurf and test new builds. And on the other hand, most of the like teams that always already also do a lot of marketing, and they have at least one of the top players have their normal IDs out there too, so that they can get recognition on ladder and that it's visible on the ladder when they are like on a really top level.
Yeah.
This is of course game number one once again, so we are heading into a best of three here, and this is the first game that we are going to cast between these two guys. They are currently advancing in the ladder, trying to of course grab one of those very important spots here. Blizzard has changed things, has taken a lot of influence now in the whole process of how these qualifiers work, since now it's not only a qualifier for the GSL but also for the WCS. There was a lot of things that have been changed, so if you guys didn't catch what is happening with the WCS, you can check out the speech of Mike Morheim. It's actually on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Khaldor TV on YouTube. The speech that he did, and if you want to follow that up, you can look on Battle.net. There were a lot of threads about how exactly the details are going to be regarding the WCS. There are going to be three finals, the season finals, and then a huge final at BlizzCon later on in the year. So it's even more prestigious right now to win one of those qualifiers, and more important than it was before.
Yeah, this is huge, and it's a big commitment for all these players to decide to stay in Korea. So going to this build, so far we have Gas for Snow, and it looks like he is going into a reactor here to just do a very quick command center with reactor expand. This reactor actually bugging out his SCV there for a second. But in the main base, of course, of JangBi, both gases have been scouted, but he hasn't shown any tech just yet, not at all.
Yep, the SCV at least has an information about the double gas that we currently have, and now JangBi, of course, he knows that he has been scouted at this point, but as Wolf already pointed out, there was no tech built just yet. And for Snow, we currently see the command center to the top right, so he's going into an expansion with gas, with the reactor. It's a build that is very similar to the opening that MVP does quite a lot. We have the factory now being built, even a bunker at the front to make sure that even a gateway attack will be thwarted in the early game. And the mothership core is already active on the map. JangBi decides to send it out there, do a little bit of damage with it, and of course get some information about what's going on.
Yeah, he wants to be able to see if there's a command center planted. If you just send a zealot or a stalker, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. But with this, you have that flying vision. You can even peek over the top of the cliff and get vision of the supply depot. You just start to harass a little bit. As long as you're careful with your micro, you can do a lot with this. And JangBi is forcing him to repair that.
This is actually really dangerous. There are a lot of Protoss players who will open with the double gate instead of only a single gateway, and then you can do a lot of damage. Or you can just go and put all your chrono boosts on the one gateway that you have, attack with a few gateway units and the mothership core that grants vision on the high ground. This is really dangerous, but a nice move by Snow here, putting all those units into a corner. Here comes the Time Warp on the other hand, and suddenly it's the Marines that are in danger.
Yeah, that was really scary. With the Time Warp, it's hard to start that micro onto the Stalker, so he decides to fall back, loses a few Marines. I thought JangBi might go for a recall, but he's just so confident and so aggressive here. He's continuing to force a repair, which costs so much money.
Yeah, it's not only the money, it's also the mining time that you lose. And this is just the aggression that we are talking about early on. JangBi does really just try to throw Snow off, make sure that his build is not as crisp as it could be, take down an SCV, maybe two. The Marines, of course, also victims from this early harass that we've seen by the Protoss player from Samsung Khan. So a really great opener by JangBi here.
Yeah, it was well done. And now he's just transitioning very adequately at home for what he's scouted. He's getting that observer out. He's getting the 2 additional gateways, similarly to how we saw Artosis play. It's the same type of build that we saw earlier today in this qualifier. And the healthy probe lead at 33-26, both double mules does even out.
And then to the top right, where we currently have, of course, for Snow, he's now going into his first medivac. And as soon as you have the starport and the medivacs in the game, you can actually, by the way, see that he didn't act the reactor or anything. He wants to get the medivac out first, and then he can put on the aggression with only the few marines that he has here. The speed boost so important also in this matchup. So what JangBi really has to do is to try to position a few of his observers on the map so that he gets a good view when exactly this medivac is going in.
Yeah, that's the most crucial part. He's even going to bring Widow Mines with this, only one. And leaves an empty slot for a Marine. And the Observer just barely sees the medevac boost by. And this is really huge because now he knows that this is coming to position his units into the main base appropriately, as it looks like he already has in the main.
And really important here is that we have a tech lab now at the starport instead of a reactor. So that's also one of the things that's really noteworthy. He is going to use it for those two barracks that we have here. You can really see that he's delaying additional medivacs for a long time because he wants to get those upgrades out. But funny as it is, even with a speed boost, JangBi is completely ready. He knows that something like this is coming. He saw it already with his observer. Even has forward pylons right now, as he himself wants to be aggressive with the gateway units that he has and the additional immortals.
Yeah, he's hitting with this immortal timing attack. Something interesting to note is that both players are using the new skins the Blizzard has given, the Supply Depot skin and the Marine skin, and as far as JangBi goes, he's using the Zealot.
Yep. Yeah, and you can really see that Snow is now in a bit of a peculiar situation. He wanted to be the one who puts on the aggression with a drop that is once again being repelled by the photon cannon, but it is JangBi now with the information that he had, thanks to the Observer, who moves in, who takes down the bunker. Good force fields.
This is potentially game ending here. You know, he doesn't have anything in the bunker. The force fields block those Marines out. He can't even get down his ramp.
Really well done, and the force field still going strong. We have all those SCVs already dying. Another force field blocks the retreat. GG. JangBi wins game number 1 against Snow in this best of 3 series. Well played.